before we move forward, it ain't really part of the program, and I wanted to um, express condolences and acknowledge and honor the memory and legacy of frequent collaborator of mine, Tay Keith. Recently lost Memphis on had made Nashville his home. After graduating MTSU, and otherwise we did a gang of records together. But more than that, just wanted to acknowledge as much of his presence in the community and the love he shared, and I'm seeing a like outpouring
Yes.
of grief and otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we ever in passing, it was nothing but love, respect, pleasantries, and it was honor and a blessing to know him and work with him. So rest in peace, bless his soul.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, men's mental health, like it's real. We do the shadow work, cards. We try to like not only hold each other accountable, but offer like safe space, the support. Like we laugh and kick shit and vibe and otherwise, but like there's value to community, camaraderie, like fellowship at large, and uh, sometimes people just need to be seen and heard, and that's part of the premise. It is whether it's telling stories, sharing stories, bringing about like by and large, what we trying to build is something that's upbeat, that's uplifting, and we hope that's the way it reaches the world and the way it's received. But not to make things darker or heavier than necessary. It's just a part of it. Like even the shadow work, success. Sometimes you gotta go get into the darkness to figure out how to see the light out of it. So
I don't want to stay in the dark, but I do got a question. I mean, kind of in I guess, somewhat the same vein. If you could talk to anyone, if you could call someone that you miss, what would you say?
who would you call and
Yeah, like,
and what would you
one
say?
person you wish you could call, and what would you say?
Hmm. You want to start good?
Yeah, I'll say probably my granddad. He's probably the closest person I was to in my life that has passed. So I probably want to just chat with him. I
Okay.
don't know what I would say. I would just, mm,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like it's just hearing their voice, like hearing them in real time, like how you save a voicemail or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or have a memory of how they would greet you. Because he was the only person. Like my mom was real big on name. Like I couldn't have nicknames growing up because there was a history of black men not being honored with their names and being called boy. And so she didn't ever allow me to have nicknames, but he was the only one that could call me a nickname. So that was like something special between he and I. And hearing him say that would be like what I want to hear. Probably wouldn't want to talk, or I wouldn't have anything significant, maybe give him an update on what's going on. But what about you?
Um. I I don't know. I kind of drew a blank there. Like I think it probably speaks to my relationship with grief
Mm.
and like the relative like closure that come with it or the lack thereof. And I think everyone that I lost that was close to me, I think I hold the losses like in the same regard. It's not, maybe it's because of relationship or like, you know, every person I think of that was close to the Allah was like, you know, wish I could talk to him or whatever. It's not like a single person that stands out in that sense as much as just like kind of almost scrolling backwards and taking inventory of those. Maybe because I mean, fortunately, I don't feel like I just necessarily lost anyone and we were in like the worst of times or you know what I'm saying. I seen that like people be grief stricken and that be the biggest regret of it is like man we never made up or we never made peace before I lost that person and I think that's why it's probably difficult for me to pinpoint you know one person but um I mean yeah I was thinking I I don't know I want to my homeboy Skinny, like he called me had to be I guess some hours before he passed, and I think maybe I would add like just I missed the call. You know what I'm saying? When I got to the airport and landed and saw I had a missed call simultaneously, I was getting the news and passing. I was like, man, he called me. I just you know wonder what the nature of the call was, considering that you know what I'm saying. We lost him like overnight at that time. I think that maybe that's something that's just always been in the front of my mind, on my heart about it, but I, you know, never know.
Yeah, that's I mean those you know losing people is just so jarring, you know, because it's so sudden because we don't know.
Yeah,
What about for y'all, Los or Jimmy?
Oh, I mean, for me, it would definitely be my daddy.
Mm.
Uh, just like you said, just hearing his voice and you know, yeah, just hearing his voice would help a lot. Hearing some excitement. We talked. Anytime I called him when I had good news, he'd be the first person I call, and he'd be so excited about the good news.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't got nobody that's excited like about good news no more.
Mm.
And you know,
yeah,
that's somebody that I definitely would call.
yeah. I thought about that as like when you mentioned your grandfather, I was like, it's always the notion of like I wish they could see where I am now. You know what I'm saying? I've grown into who I wanted to be or who they believed that I would be or that was so to hear you say it like makes sense. What you asked us the question, what about you, Los?
Yeah. Um, it'd probably be my great grandmother. I mean, or even my grandfather. But yeah, just to hear their voice. I mean, so one thing I did before my great grandmother passed away that I wish I would have done with my grandfather was I recorded a voice memo um like of her telling her life story or just kind of telling us about herself and some like I shared with like some of my close family members like when she passed away. But it was just basically just, her telling who she was, her full name, just hearing it in her voice, and her being able to kind of tell her story. I think it was just something to where I can always kind of go back and listen to, you know what I'm saying? Because she, like, I love you or something, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of it. So it's just something that I can always, you know what I'm saying, kind of refer back to. So.
Mm.
I think just to kind of hear just update me or just be like, oh yeah, I seen you on the news and
Mm.
why you had your hair cut? You see, boy, you need come by here. I'm give you $25. You can go get your hair cut. So just some, you know what I'm saying, or even just kind of hearing my granddaddy, uh, like I don't know, just being in his presence, I think would just do good to it. Like he couldn't tell me about nothing that I'm doing, but he just, I always have some like words of encouragement. So
Yeah, I think that similarly like you with your grandmother, I was fortunate. I was doing a documentary that talks about our family history, and Jefferson Street, and my granddaddy on my mom's side. So my mom's dad, his father, had some businesses on Jefferson Street before they put I-40 through it, and so a part of that documentary, I got a chance to interview him, which was maybe a year or so before he passed. So when he passed, I was able to do the same thing and share that video with the family so they could see him talking about like that history. But yeah, on to some other discussions.